Today we're talking about one of the most frustrating things in the booking process, and that's when the client comes back to you and tells you they found someone to do it cheaper. Welcome to the Moneybeard channel. My name is Rob Anderson, founder of Moneybeard. I am a magician providing services to private and corporate events. Now I'm teaching you how you can make six figures or more doing what you love. So look, I'll be honest, I don't know if there is something more frustrating to hear from a potential client getting so far in the booking process, getting close to getting that contract signed, and then they come back and they tell you they found somebody cheaper. And all you want to do, you just want to tell them, who cares if they're cheaper? I'm better than they are. It doesn't matter. You just want to get mad and frustrated, and I've been there. And today I'm going to talk about how to tackle this problem. And right off the bat with this one, if a client comes back and says this to you, this is something that you usually, in most cases, should have avoided earlier on in the booking process when you were speaking to them originally about the booking. Early on in the process, that's when you really want to be conveying your value to that client and demonstrating how you alone are uniquely set up to meet the needs that they have and solve the problems that they have. And you might think to yourself, solve the problems? Like, what do you mean solve the problems that they have? I'm a photographer, I'm a magician, I'm whatever, I'm not solving problems. I'm doing magic tricks and taking pictures and setting up photo booths. No, you're solving a problem. This is a ground level sales concept that I really want you to just drive into your head here. People don't buy services and products so much as they buy solutions to problems. Everyone has a problem they're trying to solve, okay? Whether it's a boring kid's birthday party, or whether it's the problem of not having a solution to capturing the memories from their wedding, or whether it's having a sales meeting. Again, this is just going to be boring. That's what entertainers do. We solve the problem of boring and uninteresting events. You need to convey early on how you alone are uniquely set up to solve those problems for your clients. That's another reason your promo just needs to be fantastic. You need those great online reviews to really elevate yourself above your competition. And that's why early on also, when they contact you about this potential booking, you want to be asking them questions that are going to set you apart from your competition as well. Instead of just when you get the call or the email and they say, hey, blah, 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 what's your rate? Instead of just doing what most of your competition is probably doing and just firing off a number to them, take a moment, use a little pattern interrupt, do what they're not expecting. Ask them a little bit more about their specific needs. Get to know their main pain points there and their problems they're trying to fix. Taking time to identify the key things that are really important to that client will set you apart from the get-go. And it will also enable you to better convey to them the services that you offer that could be specifically tailored just to their needs. Okay, that's all great, but what if you do all that? What if you've done all of that and they still come back to you and they say those dreaded words, hey, I actually found somebody cheaper? I'll tell you what you don't do. You don't get upset and you don't ream that client out and start ranting to them about how much better you are than whoever they found. Nix that idea completely from your game plan right now. I'm going to tell you how to address this. And before I address that, I want to make it clear, I'm not promising you any magic words you can say that will convert every client who's just out there price shopping, who's just determined to be a cheapskate. But there is a way you can address this that can make it go in your favor. And there's a couple different types of people that'll come at you. Some are a little less aggressive. Some are just weirdly aggressive about the fact that they can find someone cheaper, almost like they're angry at you for charging a higher price than the less qualified people. We'll get into them at the end of the video. First though, let's address the majority of the people that might come to you just telling you they found someone cheaper. The first thing you want to do is acknowledge to them that it's good for them to shop around a little bit, and it's totally normal to want to make sure that they're trying to get the best value and the most for their money that they can get. Everyone wants that. Then you're going to want to drive the conversation back to something that's a little bit easier to handle, and that's the fact that they just feel like your price is too high. That's really the main reason people would go and shop for different prices. And that's a little bit of an easier problem to tackle once you figure out why they feel that way. So what I suggest saying is just something along the lines of, you know, that's totally understandable to go and shop around a little bit and make sure you're getting the best deal you can get. I myself always like to make sure I'm getting the most for my money and the best value. But the fact that you are price shopping at this stage leads me to believe that maybe you feel my prices are a bit too high. Would that be fair to say? And they should acknowledge that at this point, because that is what they're saying. And so you'll want to say back to them something to the effect of, you know, I appreciate you being candid and honest with me about that. Help me understand why you're feeling that way about the pricing. And you really want to get into the conversation of what they feel it is about your price that's just too high. Because at that point, again, going back to conveying value earlier on in the conversation, you should have conveyed enough value to this client, to this prospect, that they should understand the pricing structure that you have and why you charge what you charge. So if you can talk with them about, again, the value you're providing, about how you alone are set up to solve their problems and you're uniquely qualified to help them with whatever it is that they're seeking. If they're just determined to go with someone else cheaper, you might just want to ask them. I do just want to leave you with this though, and that's that I price my services in terms of the value that I provide. And what I've been finding from other clients that have come to me after using someone cheaper is that they're really not happy with the value that they gave up in order to get those cheaper prices. And that's completely true. And people have come to me with a number of complaints about people that are priced below me. And sometimes I'll give them examples of that, and I'll never name names. And don't ever name names for a few reasons. One, you don't want to throw anyone under the bus, even if they're your competition. You don't want to throw your competition under the bus. It's just unethical to do that. And two, it sort of works in your favor too to not name names. If you can give examples of things that truly, you know, you've seen happen, or people have come to you, your clients have come to you and said about your competition, when you list off some of those things without naming them, well, again, you're not throwing people under the bus by doing that, and it's also kind of leaving the question in their mind, oh, you know, wonder if one of these cheaper guys that I was looking at are one of these people that are that he's talking about, that he's received complaints about before. And again, I only encourage saying those things if they're true, if there's something that you have personally witnessed your competition doing, or if it's something that a client has come to you and asked you to fix that your competition has done wrong in the past. So sometimes you can get people to see the value that you provide versus your competition when you're charging a higher price than they do. And believe me, look, you need to make sure you really are justifying your prices by providing the sort of value that those prices command. So look, if you're doing McDonald's service at a Ruth's Chris price, that's going to come back to bite you. You really need to make sure your service level meets the level of those higher prices if you are charging a higher price. Even if you're not charging an extreme price and you're in a perfectly acceptable range, there will always be someone cheaper. And at that point, those people really usually are the ones screwing up work, and they usually don't work that much. And what I've found is those real bottom feeder type services, those are the ones that really just the cheapskate, you know, want everything for nothing type clients go to. And I don't want those clients. Those clients usually are just a nightmare to deal with. You know, I mean, if I don't know what service you do, or if you normally do a service that averages $1,000 a job, and there's somebody out there doing it for $200, and I've seen that. Anyone that actually hires that person and thinks they're going to get something quality, it's not the type of client that I want, and I would suggest you stay away from them too. But there are cases though where you just have a client that may not realize what the difference is in a $1,000 service and a $600-700 service or a $500 service. It may look the same initially, which again is why your promo, your reviews, and that initial conversation really needs to convey the value you're providing. All right, let's talk really quick about that over-aggressive client that comes to you, and these are my favorite people in the world to deal with. Sarcasm. These folks are the ones that when you quote them, and especially if you follow up after the quote, they'll come back to you just weirdly aggressively and saying things like,
I don't know what you're thinking charging these rates. I found prices way cheaper with so-and-so.
Or, you know what, as much as you just want to say, you know what, then go to them and let them screw your thing up. That's fine. Don't do that. There is a better way to respond. And what I suggest with that sort of a client that's coming to you aggressively, don't get mad at them, but you can elevate your pitch a little bit to match kind of that level of aggressiveness without being angry, if that makes sense. Kind of here's an example. So if somebody comes to you, you have them on the phone, you call for a follow-up, and if they actually answer, and they say, yeah, I found way cheaper prices. I don't know what you're thinking with these prices. You say, you know what, that's fair on the surface level to say that, but here, let me walk you through a couple of things. And you might want to use an analogy. I'm sure you can go around and find someone cheaper than me. I'm not going to stop you from doing that. In fact, I wouldn't want to. It would be unfair of me to stop you from going and finding someone cheaper if you want to. And just as someone as yourself might want to go and buy a new car, you might want to buy a BMW or Mercedes, you could easily go to the used car lot down the street and tell the BMW dealership you just found a cheaper car, but that really wouldn't be a fair comparison. So I just want to leave you with that is how I price. I'd love to work with you if you see the value in that. Other than that, I wish you best of luck with this. I hope you're able to get your needs met. I hope you're able to get your needs met. I hope this does work out for you, but if it doesn't, know that, I'm happy to serve you in the future. Just give me a call. I'd be happy to set something up for you. Or just tell them to screw off, one of the two. Don't tell them to screw off. Don't listen to that part of the video. Quick recap, you should be able to avoid this situation early on in the booking process by conveying your value and your unique qualifications to them, which should completely avoid this very frustrating situation. But if they do go out there and price shop and they do find someone cheaper, try to drive that conversation a little bit back more towards why they feel your pricing is too high. Talk to them a little more about the differences between you and your competition without throwing your competition under the bus. And ultimately, if they are just determined to find someone cheaper, wish them well and let them know that you'll always be there if they decide they do need your services in the future. All right, this channel is all about helping you make more money. If you felt you learned anything in this video, smash that like button. That's what I'm supposed to say at this part, right? That's what I'm supposed to say. Smash that like button, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, and I will see you in a future video helping you make more money doing what you love. See you then.